12:30 p.m. only on Bloomberg Quint.
Hello and welcome to all our viewers. You're watching Hot Money on Bloomberg Quint Live, India's first digital live streaming business news service. This is the show which gets you a complete wrap of all the stocks buzzing in trade. I am Devina Khanna. Let's welcome our experts then. Dyaneshwar Padwal of KIFS Securities and Aditya Agarwala of Yes Securities join us on the show right now. Good afternoon, gentlemen. Thanks very much for taking out the time. But before we go on and start the show, let's head over to Yash Upadhyay, who has a chart on Godrej consumers. Yash, what is the indicator that you've used this time around to gauge the chart of Godrej consumers?
Good afternoon, Devina. So I have a buy call and a sell call. I'll start with the sell call, and that is coming in on Godrej consumer. A rare chart pattern has been formed, as you could see. The pink line over here, that is the 50-day moving average, and the white line over here, that is the 200-day moving average. And based on yesterday's move, the 50-day moving average that has crossed below the 200-day moving average to form a death cross. Now, this is a rare pattern because this is the first time in 23 months that a death cross has been formed on the charts of Godrej consumer, and only 3 times in the last 5 years has this happened. So this could indicate that there could be further down pressure as far as Godrej consumer is concerned. We have seen a significant correction of more than 25% from its lifetime high, but it rebounded from those levels to some extent. But we could see another round of selling coming in as far as Godrej consumer is concerned.
All right, Yash, thanks very much for that. Let's hop across to our experts here to talk a little bit more. So a nudge around thousands, come back down to around 700. What did you make of Yash's analysis, and would you agree? I'll start with you, Dyaneshwar.
Yeah, good afternoon, Devina. If you look at the overall chart structure of Godrej consumer products, so recently we have seen that the downfall from the level of 960 towards the 660, and the stock in the recent scenario has started giving the pullback. So I would suggest pullback will come near about the level of 739 or 40 odd level. That would be an intermediate resistance. So that would be an first line of defense for the bull. So I would go short at that level for an initial leg of down move towards the 660, 650 odd.
Aditya, what about you? Do you concur?
Good afternoon, Devina first. Looking at the chart, stock is currently standing at the resistance of 720 to about 725. That happens to be at the downward trend line resistance. If stock doesn't take out this resistance of 725 to 730, then yes, stock can resume its downward trajectory and can go below 640 levels as well. But I'll closely watch out for a close or a probably trade above 725, 730. If those levels are not breached, then I would go ahead and short the stock. And as Yash pointed out, probably there can be more downside then.
All right, but we need to watch out for those resistance levels before taking that short call on the counter. Nonetheless, a downside closer to 660, 650 is what both our experts are envisaging if they're not managing to hold that resistance level. Well, let's take our stock calls from both our experts then. And I want to quickly walk across here and start off first with Dyaneshwar's chart on Maruti. He's got a call on Maruti. Let's run through this, Dyaneshwar, and talk us through what exactly you've seen in terms of the technical indicators.
Yeah, Devin, if you look at the overall chart structure of Maruti, and firstly we'll go through the sector specific. We have recently seen that in 2018 the auto sector has underperformed the key benchmark index, that is Nifty, and somewhere around recently we have seen that the auto sector has built up a strong bottom formation and giving the pullback, ready for a pullback. So in that space Maruti is looking quite attractive, because recently we have seen that the downward rally from the level of 9,500 towards the 6,500, that is a huge rally, and after that the bottom formation has been formed in Maruti, and it has posted the inverse head and shoulder pattern, wherein inverse head and shoulder patterns act as a trend reversal pattern, and it has given a breakout of the neckline, and it is stand above the neckline very well and
so
close
this is
above.
The neckline.
Yeah, this is a neckline and it is standing above the neckline. So I would go long in Maruti by keeping a stop loss of 70 to 50 for an initial leg of up move towards the 70-800.
And what would be the duration of this?
Duration would be near that more than 1 month.
Okay, more than 1 month. And sorry, can you repeat the target again?
Yeah, target would be 7,800.
7,800. All right. So the good up move from 6,500 sub 6,500.
Yeah, one more point I would like to add. If you look at the RSI, so we are getting the divergence also. So it is a bullish divergence where we can see price is making new low, but RSI is not making new low. So that is a bullish divergence. So that would add it to the advantage in the case of Maruti.
All right, so a bullish call. Thanks, Dyaneshwar, for that. On Maruti with a target of about 7,800. Aditya, your call on Maruti, would you have a similar opinion? Because the stock has seen a decent recovery from the lows.
Right, absolutely right. So stock has recovered from 50% Fibonacci retracement of 6,500 and has come off from those levels, currently trading at 7,500. Probably a pullback towards 7,200 to about 7,300 cannot be ruled out. But yes, I would agree with Dyaneshwar. There is bullishness in the stock, no doubt about that. I will keep a stop slightly around 7,000 odd levels because of the volatility that the stock has seen of late. So there can be more volatility in the stock. So purely because of that, I'll keep a stop close to about 7,000, and I would agree stock can head to levels of 7,800 and 8,000 as well in the coming months.
All right. So same targets, similar time frame. Both Aditya and Dyaneshwar in consensus on that call on Maruti. The next call is coming in from Aditya on Colgate. Aditya, let's have you here and talk about the stock and why do you like it. You've got a channel formation here. You've got an RSI as well. Absolutely indicator.
Right. So if you take a look at the chart, this is a weekly chart. The stock has broken out from the channel. This was the resistance line for the channel in trade today. The stock has broken out from this channel. So this is the first indication that the corrective wave or the downward consolidation that the stock was into has given up, and the stock is ready to resume its uptrend. This is the first point where I feel that the stock will head higher. Along with that, stock has taken decent support around 1,100 to about 1,080 levels, continuously held on to those recent lows, and from there stock has bounced back this week. On the daily chart, stock has broken out from a narrow consolidation. So all these project that there is bullishness in the stock and renewed up move can start. Along with that, I have a RSI plotted out here. So every time RSI comes to about 40 levels, this is around 40 level. Every time RSI has come around 40 level, that also happens to be the lower end of the bull zone. So for in a bull zone, RSI tends to take support at 40 and heads to levels of 70, 80 also. Yeah. So 40 on the downside acts as a very good support if the stock is in a strong bull trend. This is what is seen on lately. Every time stock has corrected, RSI generally tends to take support at 40, and you can easily see every time stock has taken RSI has taken support at 40, stock has bottomed out. So there's one occasion out here, there's another occasion out here, probably there's another occasion out here when the stock has taken support whenever RSI has hit levels of 40. So right now also so RSI has turned up from 40, stock has taken support close to about 1,080 levels, and it has broken out from this channel. So I'm bullish on the stock. Targets would be 1,250 to about 1,300 for a time frame of 3 to 4 weeks.
Yeah, and these shallow candlesticks with shorter bodies probably indicating a little less conviction from bears.
Exactly. And look at the body this week. It's a bull candle, a big broad bull candle, which is with a large real body. So that tells you that there is buying momentum, which is renewed in the stock. So
all right. Got that. So 2 to 3 months time frame. That's Aditya's call on Colgate. Dyaneshwar, I'm going to throw this over to you, and whether or not you are in agreement with Aditya on this one.
Yeah, I agree with Aditya. Recently, we have seen that the stock is moving in a clear uptrend, and recently it has taken an intermediate trend line support near about 1050, and stocks moves towards the 1150. Rather buying at a current market price, I would go on a conditional basis buy. If bulls manage to take out the 1165 level, then only we may see the further escalation towards 1200, 1250.
Okay, got that. So that's a quick call on Colgate and Maruti, two stocks that were discussed in round one. Let's kickstart round two of discussions. Dyaneshwar's next stock pick is Container Corporation of India. Let's bring up that chart, and yet another channel formation there. We've got a significant breakout there, Dyaneshwar.
Yeah, if you look at the overall chart structure of Container Corporation, so we have seen that the stock was unfolded into the corrective pattern in 2016-17. After that, we have seen that the impulsive move towards the northern trajectory, and after that the stock has formed a flag pattern, and where we got the flag pattern breakout and stock is sustained above that pattern. So I would suggest going long in this counter would be a great opportunity to buy for an initial leg of up move towards the 1800. That would be an uncharted territory. Traders can keep a stop loss of 620. Any dips comes towards the 650, 660 could be seen as a great buying opportunity. Simultaneously, one more point I would like to add. If you look at the overall chart structure of RSI, so RSI is clearly given a intermediate trend line breakout, so which eventually push the RSI on a northern trajectory, which eventually add the value to the underline. So that would be an added advantage for a container corporation.
Could you focus a little bit more and zoom in on the flag formation and explain this to our viewers as well?
Yeah, in these flag patterns, first the pole has been formed. After that, the flag pattern has been formed, and the stock has given a breakout with the big bullish candle, and it is sustaining
Which is this
above.
one?
Yeah, this one, and it is sustaining above the flag breakout pattern. And if the stocks corrects towards the 650, that is an breakout level, so that could be catch as a buying opportunity. Traders can keep a stop loss of 620 on a closing basis for an initial leg of up move towards the 800. That is an uncharted territory.
Got that. Dyaneshwar, thanks a lot for that. It's a quick explainer of why he likes container co-op. Aditya, do you views match, or do you have a variant view?
A slightly divergent view. In trade today, stock has made a high of 695, which also happens to be the recent peak. So to say stock has made a double top close to about 695 to about 698 zone, I would wait for the stock to cross that level of 695 to 700. Then probably I'll take a fresh trade. Else stock can slide lower to 638 to about 640 zone. Probably those levels one can look at buying, but at current levels stock has turned down post making a double top on the daily, on the weekly chart. So that is a little point to be noted. Otherwise, stock can come up once it crosses those resistance of 700.
So what's the follow-through indicator that you're watching?
First indicator would be that the stock crosses those high of 695 to 700, that zone. Second, RSI is forming a negative divergence on the weekly chart. Price has made a higher high, but RSI has formed a lower high. So that tells me that the momentum that was there is slightly losing its steam. So probably that could be one more reason for me to just wait and watch for the stock to cross that 695 700 level. Then the renewed momentum we can see in the stock.
Got that. All right, so that was container co-op. Both opinions there coming across on Dyaneshwar stock. Aditya's second stock pick is Aditya Birla Fashion. Let's have that chart up on the screen, and Aditya can run us through why he's liking this stock. Aditya.
This also is in consolidating in a symmetrical triangle pattern. I could call this a pennant also. This is followed post a sharp run up in prices from about 140 odd levels. Stock hit levels of 230, 220, and then it has gone into a consolidation, sideways consolidation. Along with that, we saw good volume activity. The volume chart is not here right now. We saw good volume activity when the prices were going up, but right now there's thin volume within this consolidation. So that also tells me that this is more of a consolidation that the stock has entered into. The bull trend is still intact. Volumes are declining post a sharp run up in prices on good volumes. So a breakout above the stock is yet to break out from this consolidation pattern. A breakout above 195 to about 200, that is the zone of breakout. If it breaks out above that and closes above it, probably
which is the high of
today's candle. So it's just managed it, if it closes today, probably beyond that it can trigger a fresh breakout, and then I would be looking at a target of probably 220 or higher in the coming weeks. So first target would be 215. Probably if it crosses 215, stock can head to levels of 225 also. Also, if I take a look at the RSI within this consolidation, RSI has managed to hold on to the support levels of 50, 60, 55 to 60, which is a very good sign. When stock posts a sharp run up, if the stock goes into a consolidation and RSI holds on to levels of 55, 60, that tells that there's strength still in the stock. And once it breaks out of that resistance, probably fresh up move will trigger. So this is a preempt call, thinking that the stock will break out from this resistance. Once it breaks out, probably stock will head to levels of 215 to 220.
And how long will that take?
Probably 3 to 4 weeks. Because
3 to 4 weeks?
Yeah, or probably it could be shorter than that, because
and
these
you
stocks...
expect a consolidation till that much time?
Yes, till the time it breaks out, consolidation will continue.
Okay.
And if you can see the history of the stock, the moment it breaks out, there are long shadows, long real bodies that you see.
Yeah.
So you will not be able to catch that move, because the move tends to be very fast. It could be achieved in probably a week's time as well, because of the sharp move that the stock generally tends to show.
But wait till 195.
Yes, probably once it breaks out of this resistance of today's high 198, probably then you can take a fresh trade.
Okay, got that. So a bullish call coming in on Aditya Birla fashion from Aditya, expecting the stock to break out of break off beyond 195, and then you can see targets are closer to 215 odd. Dyaneshwar, your call on Aditya Birla fashion?
Yeah, I agree with Aditya. He was talking about the 195 level, so that would be a breakout level. So traders need to closely watch 195 level. If bulls manage to take out that 195 level, so we probably see the stock is moving towards the 220, 230 level. So before that, on a lower time frame charts, we clearly observe that the after the correction, stock has taken a resistance of 202 around almost 2 times. So after the 195 breakout, bulls managed to take out also the 202 level. After that, we may see the spectacular rally into the stock towards the northern trajectory.
Okay, that's Aditya Birla fashion there. And that was round 2 of our stocks. So far we've discussed about 4 stocks with our experts. Let's take a look at what's lined up next in terms of their final picks. Dyaneshwar's final pick is L&T Finance. Let's see what that stock's doing right now and what exactly do the charts indicate there. The stock nonetheless has already had a good run up in the recent past, but you're seeing some amount of bearishness coming in with this big bearish candlestick out here. But what's the call there, Dyaneshwar?
Yeah, in L&T Finance, we are doing a multi time frame analysis over here. First, we look at the monthly charts. So if you look at the monthly chart, so we have seen the spectacular rally from the level of 50 towards the 200 level, and after that the bull move, the stock was unfolded into the corrective pattern, that is an ABC. If you correlate the relationship of wave A towards the wave C, it is exactly 100% of wave A is equal to wave C. And if you draw down the Fibonacci retracement from the level the bulls move has been started in 2016, so we have drawn down that the bearish move has been caught near about 61.8% of Fibonacci retracement. Second thing, after taking a Fibonacci retracement, the stock a hammer candlestick pattern has been formed in monthly chart. It indicates a trend reversal pattern. If you go to the daily charts, can you just pull out the daily charts? Yeah, on a lower time frame, we have seen that on a monthly charts, the bears has been caught near about 61.8% of retracement. Simultaneously, the hammer candlestick pattern has been formed. Now we are going into the daily time frame chart, that is a lower time frame. If you look at the total lower time frame charts, so after the bearish move, the bull move has been formed and stock was consolidating in a very tight range. So this would be a conditional buy. If stock managed to take out the 138 level, then only we are going long in L&T Housing and Finance. And after that move, we should keep a stop loss of 125 on a closing basis for an initial leg of up move towards the 155.
All right, and on the downside, where would the...
If stock is not managed to take out the 138 level, we cannot enter into these stocks because these are the conditional buy.
Okay, and for a target of 155?
Target of 155 for more than 2 months.
2 months, all right. Time frame's 2 months. Thanks a lot for that, Dyaneshwar. L&T Finance, Aditya.
It's still in a consolidation post that pullback from 115 levels. As Dyaneshwar pointed out, we'll wait for a breakout above 138, 140. That is the resistance zone that the stock continuously is facing. Probably if it breaks out of that 140, then yes, a fresh up move will start. Otherwise, the stock can claw back to levels of 129 to 130 also. But I don't think there's too much of weakness that the stock will see immediately. Probably a first an up move, then a downward momentum can resume. But first, yes, an up move is possible in the stock.
And where would you put targets?
My targets out here would be around 150. If the stock manages to cross 138, the target straight away would be 150.
With a similar time frame, 1-2 months?
Probably it could be shorter, but yeah, I will keep a slightly longer time frame. One month probably is a good time frame.
All right, so a similar target there for Aditya and Dyaneshwar on that stock, 150, 155. All right, the last one then, Aditya's final stock pick is La Opala. Let's get the stock up and see why Aditya is liking the stock. He's got a buy call on basis of RSI and obviously another channel indicator.
Yes, so this is almost all the stocks are forming a channel post this sharp correction that we've seen in the markets. This too has fallen off the cliff from 350 odd levels to 200. But on the weekly chart, what the correction is now suggesting is we formed a positive divergence in RSI. What is a positive divergence? Price tends to make a lower low, RSI tends to make a higher low. So if you clearly take a look at this correction that the stock has seen from 250 to 200, prices have made a lower low. But if you take a look look at the RSI has made a higher low. So this is telling that the downward momentum is losing its steam, and probably an up move can start soon in the stock. And if I take a look at the daily chart today, stock is up 3%. It's broken out from that narrow consolidation that it was going through past 2 weeks. Today it has broken out. Volumes are good, healthy. So I expect the stock to break out of this resistance of 250, 255, which is again the channel resistance. Even at current levels, one can go ahead and take a long. The risk to reward is favorable in going long at current levels. Our first target around would be around 250, and if it manages to cross that level of 250, probably 277 is also a possibility in the stock.
So your trade starts once it breaks 250?
No, I'll take a trade right now because of the risk to reward is favorable. The RSI is suggesting that the up move will resume soon. Volumes are good. It's broken out from a consolidation in trade today on good volumes. So these tell me that there's an up move and the breakout will happen sooner or later. And the risk to reward will be extremely good. Probably I can place a stop at 205 to 200 at current levels and go long. And if it breaks out of this resistance, I'll be looking at a northward target of 277 as well. The time frame would be slightly higher, 1 to 2 months. But yes, this is looking extremely promising, and the stock can head levels of 277 in the coming weeks.
Got that. So ripe for a breakout there, target of about 277 and a time frame for about 1 odd month to keep on this one. Dyaneshwar, your take on La Opala now? Do you agree with the time frame, the target that Aditya has put out?
Yeah, as Aditya mentioned that on a lower time frame, like in daily time frame chart, so it has come out with the sideways consolidation, and recently we have seen that the good up move and the renewed strength is clearly observed on the chart. So if the stock is moving towards the 250, that would be a downward sloping channels resistance. That is the first line of defense for the bulls. If it is stays the 250 level, I would revise my stop loss to cost. If it is managed to break out that level, then probably we may see the further escalation towards the northern trajectory. Level could be 277, 280.
The other stock probably that deserves some amount of attention that we should consider after yesterday's big bumper of a move, and today's session also not doing all that badly, is a Jet Airways. The stock's up 4.5% today. Add on to yesterday's 24%, 28% in a matter of 2 trading sessions. The stock, though, is not at the highest point of the day right now. Welcome to each of you on whether or not it's too late to take a trading position into this one. Aditya, why don't you start off?
Probably I would not take a trade right now. The 2 days of up move that we have seen in the stock is trading at slightly an overbought levels on shorter time frames. So I would wait for the stock to come back to levels of 300. Then yes, I can take a trade. Volumes are extremely healthy. Yesterday volumes were good. Today volumes have surpassed already yesterday's volume. So this is telling me that there's good volume activity that we are seeing in the stock. Just because of the sharp up move, 30% yesterday and probably 8 odd percent in trade today. I'll wait for the stock to just pull back a little bit closer to about 320 to 300. Then I would take a fresh trade in the stock. My targets then would be around 430 as well.
Okay. Dyaneshwar, do you think that will be too late in the party if you wait for another pullback, probably considering volumes or any which way supporting the pricing activity? It could swing higher from here.
Yeah, earlier, if you look at the overall chart structure of Jet Airways, so earlier Jet Airways was moving in a lower top, lower bottom formation, and recently we have seen that the spectacular move in last 2 days, and it has taken out the previous top. So I could suggest that the lower top, lower bottom formation has been changed. Now it has made a fresh high. So I would rather going at the current market price, because risk reward ratio is not favorable at the current market price. Traders should wait for a level of stock to be corrected towards the 300, 310 level. So that could be a catch agent buying opportunity.
That's Jet Airways for you. The stock currently at 332, went all the way up until 353 odd levels and now back down. Let's quickly get in a call on the index as well before we go across and wrap up the show with Yash and his take on Dabur. But let me start with you, Dyaneshwar. A quick take on Nifty.
Yeah, recent chart structure suggests that the 10,700 could be act as a very strong resistance, because previous stop has been formed near about 10,700. If bulls manage to take out that level and close above the 700 for consecutive 2 days, then only we may see the further escalation towards the 10,900, 11,000. So that could be an 50% Fibonacci retracement of the previous fall from the level of 11,700 towards the 10,000 mark.
Aditya?
Though the stock, the index has managed to take out the narrow consolidation that it was in for last 1 week, but again it is facing resistance from 10,710 to about 750. 710 happens to be the recent high from where the index saw that again fall back, and 750 happens to be the 200 DMA simple moving average. So the stock index will face resistance between the 750 to about 710. We may see some bit of a selling pressure or profit booking around those levels. Probably a pullback closer to about 10,400, 350 will give a fresh buying opportunity. At current levels, the risk to reward is not in favor of going long in the index. 10,750 will act as a stiff resistance, I believe.
Okay, and before we wrap up the show, Yash is back with us and he's got another chart on Dabur. Yash, what have you got?
Thank you, Davina. We'll end the show on a positive note. We have a buy call coming in on Dabur with the help of the Bloomberg proprietary indicator, which is the trender indicator. It uses basically the relationship between two true range to give you a buy or a sell call. How do you interpret it? You go long when the trend line, which is over here, turns green, and you sell when the indicator turns red. Now, how does it happen? The crossover or the color change happens when the closing when the price of the stock closes above the trender line, and right now Dabur is trading very close to the red trender line. Should it close above this level, the indicator would flip its color to green, and it could indicate a potential up move from these levels. Now, the beauty of this is that it has given a 100% success ratio over the last 1 year, and on an average it would have given you returns in excess of 9% and at max almost 14.5%.
All right, Yash, thanks very much for that. That's Dabur for you, and the trender indicator out there. I have time probably just to take one of your outlooks on Dabur, so I'll take Aditya's.
I would agree with Yash. Stock is trading above its 200 DMA. I will go ahead and take the trade right now, whether or not it is crossing the trend or not. I see a good up move in the stock. Probably 4 to 5% up move can be seen even from current levels. So a thumbs up from my side as well, as far as Dabur is concerned.
All right, great. So those were a whole lot of stocks that we discussed on Hot Money this afternoon. I'd like to take our time to thank both Aditya and Dyaneshwar for joining us and running us through their stock ideas. With that, it's a wrap on Hot Money. Thanks a lot for watching.